560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1 hour heating and air conditioning weather center, our meteorologist Steve Williams.
We'll see some periods of rain today, the high 49. A bit of rain around this evening, otherwise a cloudy night, low 42. Clouds tomorrow, rain, thunderstorm mainly later, breezy. The high tomorrow at 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
38 at O'Hare, next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Election day yesterday, and a couple of minor surprises, starting with Dan Lipinski losing in the 3rd Congressional District to Marie Newman the second time around. Marie Newman, who is a prospective member of the squad, and Dan Lipinski signaling the formal end of the existence of Reagan Democrats, at least in office. They're gone. They have no place in the Democrat Socialist Party of 2020. Do you get the message? Dan Lipinski knew better, and he decided to try to appease the P-hats with terrible fiscal policy votes. Of course, that was only provocative, as appeasement is. And they came for him, and they banished him because they will exorcise all of the heretics in the party. You are pro-abortion, or you're not a member of the party. Period. The end.
And Newman won, and she thanked SEIU, Mayor Lightfoot, Jan Schakowsky, all of those.
The power structure.
Yeah, the power structure, yeah.
That's who the Democrat Socialist Party is.
The pro-choice movement, excuse me.
Those names, and it's not pro-choice, pro-abortion.
I mean pro-abortion, excuse me.
That's who it is. So you Reagan Democrats on the Southwest side, where are you going now? Are you going to use the cover of your union membership, or are you going to man up? Because actually, the good news here is, rather than going with a Marxist like Marie Newman, you have a legitimate, practical alternative in Mike Frizzalone. Actually had a decent Republican who's a Will County board member from Homer Township. So there's that. Of course, Kim Foxwin's going away.
Well, and she's the only one who had a victory celebration last night. And let us know, Dan, that because of her big win, the Jussie Smollett case should now go away.
There was an effort to make this election about one big case involving a celebrity. The voters have overwhelmingly put that fallacy to rest. To everyone who rallied around this race that made it bigger than one thing, one issue, who rejected the notion that we would talk about one singular case and not what mattered to the people of Cook County, and put everything on the line for this, I thank you.
I mean, it is disgusting. It makes me physically ill that she won last night, considering what she's done. And not just with the Jussie Smollett case, with lowering of bonds and everything is so wrong on a number of levels. But yeah, you're right. We have the Stockholm Syndrome. We're lemmings. We're stupid.
A couple other congressional races, since it's really all things federal is really all that matters here. If you're, to the extent you're staying and going to participate. Jim Oberweis wins narrowly the nomination on the 14th. He'll face Lauren Underwood. That was a close race. Him, Rezin, and Catalina Lauf, sort of a surprise third, considering how undercapitalized she was compared to, say, Ted Grottle, who finished a distant fourth. So that was a nice performance, actually, from Catalina Lauf. Jim Oberweis eking out the nomination.
And then Jeannie Ives won, 70-30?
Yeah, Jeannie Ives wins in a blowout. So Ives versus Kasten.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Oberweis versus Underwood. Those are two seats Republicans really need to get back to have a chance at taking the House in November. And then, of course, an outlier, but interesting because of what happened. I would put the 3rd District, Frizzalone and Lipinski, and Frizzalone against Marie Newman, who beat Lipinski, if the Republican Party, wants to play in a race that doesn't normally set up for this. But wait till people the general electorate gets a real good look at Marie Newman. And wait till you have people that can vote for some Republicans and some Democrats. They don't have to pull a ballot that precludes them from voting in races they want to vote for. So a lot of people that pull Democrat ballots that aren't necessarily Democrats. So we'll see. We'll see about that. A couple of other subtexts on the night. One, speaking of the 14th and Oberweis, so to backfill his state Senate seat, this was a nice win. Jeanette Ward, who's a former U46 school board member, she beat a GOP establishment candidate that was backed by the feckless, pathetic, cowardly, corrupt Illinois GOP leadership in the form of Bill Brady. Beat him, beat the leadership, beat Local 150, the operating engineers who were in for her opponent, and beat them resoundingly. So that's a nice win. That's another little green shoot. A couple of home rule initiatives. More taxing power to your local authority went down in places like Burr Ridge. That's a green shoot. But overall, here's my reaction. That's
Chernobyl.
That's DEFCON 1. That's clear. Clear the contaminated area. Clear the contaminated area mean leave Illinois, because everything you know about Illinois, if you listen to this show, and if you pay attention to the life you're living in Illinois, is being ignored by the majority of the electorate. How do I know this? Look at the bond issues for school districts all over the suburbs. I scan them on the Tribune site, their election results site. You can't find a bond issue for a school district that lost. At least I couldn't. Highest property taxes in the nation, destroying home equity. The quality of the school is getting better in terms of, what happens inside the walls. Not by any measurement that I'm familiar with. Every single bond issue passed. The majority of the suburban electorate is saying, you are not raising my property taxes fast enough. You are not destroying my home equity quickly enough. I am not paying enough to finance 7-figure pensions for public sector workers. Faster, bigger, more. Death. No coming back. And by the way, if you think this is going to be competitive in November, Cook County, certainly at the statewide level, 0 chance. Cook County, it's not a perfect handle, but it's directionally important. 790,000 ballots cast in the Cook County State's Attorney's race, the Democrat primary. Fancook against Patrick O'Brien, 64,000. 12x the number of Democrat primary voters versus Republican. It's gone. Gone. By any measure. So if you want to howl at the moon and go off on some quixotic adventures like some Republican shaman are advocating, particularly given the corrupt, cowardly leadership of the party I was describing, then, you do so at your own peril and without purpose. For more on all of this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend John Kass, Chicago Tribune columnist and regular sub here, thankfully. Yeah. John Kass, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi.
So we had an election because, as you wrote, elections are about politics, and that's the most important thing in Illinois. And that was succinctly and accurately said. And we had basically what we have come to become accustomed to, did we not?
I'm going to be like John Jacob Astor and go have a cigar in the stateroom as the Titanic goes down and have a nice 18-year-old scotch and watch it for a bit.
And there you go. I'll take that
Say
as a
no
yes.
more,
That's a vivid yes, but that is a yes with an exclamation point. You can't be surprised about Kim Foxx, and you can't be surprised that she has declared the Jussie Smollett matter over and finished,
yes.
even though he's even though he's still pending trial. But okay,
it's over. Shut up. Don't think about it. It's done.
But who voted for her?
said.
I mean, I just...
Who voted for her?
Who voted for her? Come on, Amy. By the way, Amy, I would
What?
suggest don't go with the high-tech combat shotguns. You need just a double-barrel fowling piece, something simple, loaded with buckshot. You'll be good.
All right, and a gun
Okay.
recommendation from
Where
John
should I
Kass.
go? I
That's
need to
good.
find a store.
John, you heard my the
Yes.
the things I picked out. Anything else that you picked out from the election that is important?
Was Dan Lipinski the last pro-life Democrat in Congress?
Yes.
Just about. There may be one or two others whose names aren't coming to mind, but they'll be next. I mean, they'll be next on the hit list. You can be sure.
And there's nothing like your point about voters now paying attention to Marie Newman. There's nothing like being screamed at by Marie Newman unless it's being screamed at by Jan Schakowsky.
Well, there's a lot of competition to be screamed at by Marxists in this state too, or lectured to
Right.
by the same. And what about the decision to have the election in the first place? The combined decision of a Governor Pritzker and I assume a Mayor Lightfoot.
I thought that Pritzker did a good job getting ahead of, closing bars and restaurants, even though that's painful. I think that was the smart thing.
Yeah.
But then, based on his own rationale, where he said 24 hours before the election, any bar owner or restaurant owner that has a big party on closing night and someone gets sick, they bear the responsibility for anyone dying. That's what he said.
I know.
And then the next
It's
day,
ridiculous.
he's defending and saying the law. I must uphold the law. And I was thinking while he was saying that, and I didn't put it in today's column, and I bite my tongue now because I'm so upset at it. I forgot about that law that says you can't buy the mansion next to your own and take out all the toilets. Isn't there a law about that? I think so.
Yeah, I think ultimately he put in a bidet so he wouldn't suffer during the toilet paper shortage. And I want you to have that image in your head for the rest of the day.
You just did, and I damn you for it.
Thank you very much.
I mean, is he sheltering in place? I mean, what's
He is a shelter.
we used to. I mean,
Well,
He's a shelter sheltering in place.
He can keep a distance. There's a lot there to keep a distance with.
Difficult.
yeah, but if
to
he
keep
closed
distance.
down the bars, John Kass, I don't know if you saw the tweet. I added you on it. My polling place was packed with people, and we were on top of each other. There was no social distancing going on.
There were many polling places like that, and people getting coughed on. I wrote about it today. There was a guy
Thank you, dear.
at Holstein Park who describes himself, Paul Sills describes himself as a moderate Republican, conservative Democrat. And he went to vote against Kim Fox. He said he was going to brave the four horsemen of the apocalypse to do that. And when he got to the polling place, it was crowded. People were coughing.
He met all four of them. Yeah, he met all four
Yeah,
of the
he met
horsemen.
all four of them.
Yeah.
Right.
What about on the GOP side, the congressional races in particular? You heard my riffs on Oberweis versus Underwood, Ives versus Kasten, and I would, and again, I'm including now Frizzalone against Lipinski. I mean, against Newman, right, who took out Lipinski.
Will Frizzalone get any kind of fair media coverage? I don't know.
No.
Or is this, but what Republican Party? You've been saying that. I've been saying that for quite some time. There is no Republican Party in the state. I mean, Bill Brady is the leader of the Republican Party, or one of them. What? That just is beyond me. The man who cashed in on gaming while he's voting on gaming.
Right, and you've got. You've got the same. And then Durkin is a municipal attorney, so he leverages his position for law work. It's the same pay to play, or inherently conflicted relationships, just not as financially handsome as the ones that Madigan and Cullerton before used to have when he was Senate president too. But with respect to that, the Chicago Tribune editorial board opined on this in advance of Tuesday, saying, yeah, where there's an opportunity to take advantage of all these federal investigations, concurrent federal investigations going on over gaming, over ComEd bailout, over red light cameras, and where are those people in the Republican Party with leadership titles? They're quiet as church mice.
As a member of that august board now, I was proud of my colleagues who to put that in the paper, because that editorial laid out exactly what's wrong here. I mean, all this stuff going on, and no way to leverage it for an election, because there's no Republican Party. I mean, where's the Republican Party, or where's the Conservative Party? It's on the Morning Answer. It's in my column, and that's basically it.
Yeah, and
I don't see it.
a couple of candidates left to their own devices out in the hustings, like Alan Skillicorn, who fended back an establishment party back challenge for his state rep seat up in McHenry County, and Jeanette Ward, who is going to backfill the Senate seat that Oberweis is vacating, Jeannie Ives, and that's about it. I mean, a handful of others downstate, but in northeastern Illinois, that's about it. Dan Patlack on the Cook County Board of Review, that's about it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad for Jeannie.
Yeah.
I'm glad for Jeannie.
But I mean,
yeah.
all these people that caterwaul about Kim Fox and Lori Leif and everybody else, and we could name the people that are outspoken in advance of a different way of governing in this state on two hands in a metro area of 8 million people.
Especially since the establishment Republicans tried to take Silicorn out. It's just beyond my understanding.
Yeah,
and it's really sick.
These are the same people, who preach, we don't primary our members. We can't support primaries our members. I mean, except if it's somebody we don't want to be a member. There you go.
Therefore, who was the other character that was in the Titanic at the bar? If I'm John Jacob Astor, you're one of the others.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy playing the cello as the boat sinks. Like Nero playing the fiddle.
I'm the one hanging onto the door.
You're the one cleaning the shotgun, a double-barreled Steven.
No, she's gonna be the Kate Winslet character. She's on the lifeboat, John, while we're submerged. That's how it's gonna work. It doesn't make it right. It's just how it is. John Kass, Chicago Tribune columnist. John, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
With all the recent news, you likely had serious concerns about your financial portfolio. I'm Ted Putpress from Northern Research Group, Inc., and you may have heard my commercials on AM 560 over the past few months. We specialize in safe money, one-of-a-kind asset class that offers several distinct advantages, including tax-free accumulation, tax-free income before and after 59.5, discounted dollars for long-term care, 10 to 30-year pure cost protection, and legacy for your family. And if you have a business, Keyman Business Owner Leverage Benefit dollars. Learn how this asset class can solidify your financial portfolio. I will reveal your individual situation and show how, believe it or not, life insurance can benefit your portfolio.